I hope so you're doing well, and today we are going to discuss about IELTS Academic Writing Task 1, Graph Writing and Table. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task, and the table below gives information about changes in the modes of travel in England between 1995 and 2000. So regarding this task, you are supposed to summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparison where relevant, and you are supposed to write at least 150 words for this task. And so here is the table: the walking 1985 and 2000, bicycle 51 and 41, car, then this 3,199 and 4,806, yes. Long distance bus 54, and in 2000 it increased 124, and train in 1985 was 289, and in 2000 it was 366. Taxi was used for 13 kilometer or whatever is the way we are using, and this taxi was used in is 42. Other means of transport was used 450 in 1985, and in 2000 it was 585. So overall all modes 4,740 and 6,475 were there according to this table. So let's move towards our sample answer. I'm going to share with you sample answer that is around band 8. If you will prepare like this, then easily you can get 7.5 till 8 from writing task 1. The table data outlines transportation preferences by British commuters between 1985 and 2000. So here overall we are describing about the time duration, that what is this question or this topic is about. It's about the table data outlines transportation preferences by British commuters between 1985 and 2000. As it's obvious, cars were the most common means of transport in the two mentioned years in the UK. So they are sharing with us the most highest trend, like what was the highest means of transport that was used by the British in the UK. So overall, then we will talk about the overall cars were the British citizens' primary mode of transportation, and taxi was the least used mode of travel for them in the given time period. So we can see we shared here the highest and the lowest trend of this topic. So let's move towards our next point. As the data suggests, an English citizen travelled more than 6,475 miles on average in 2000, which was almost 36% higher than the distance travelled in 1985. So let's move towards our next point. Travel by car dominated this total travel, as more than 4,800 miles out of 6,400 in 2000 were crossed using automobiles, and a similar trend could be observed in 1985. Here they are giving the comparison of both years with one thing. Let's move towards our next point. The use of personal cars increased over time. I mean, people started to use more personal cars with the passage of time. Okay. Reliance on buses was higher than on train and bicycle use in 1985, despite an average of 255 miles walking by a Brit in 1985. It decreased after 15 years. I mean, now they are mentioning about the decreased, like what decreased after 15 years. Moreover, the taxi was perhaps the least preferred mode of commuting, as only 13 miles were travelled by British using it in 1985, which despite an increase in 2000 was below 50 miles. So you can see how it's worked. Train travel hiked in 2000 while distance traveled by British in local buses dropped. I mean, they are supposed to share all the details, but the details that are not supposed to mention in very briefly, so they're not putting more stress on that. Only the highest, the lowest, and they're giving the comparison that is that trends are not increasing. All other transportations contributed to 585 miles of traveled by average in 2000, an increase than that of 1985. So it is the Q card topic today. You have to prepare it like that. Don't go for more than this. Only you have to prepare 150 words, and this is around 295 words, but if you will check only for the answer, it will be around 170 to 80. But don't go for less than 150 and don't increase more than 200. That's all for today. Thank you.